Welcome back to Beers and Gears. This is episode 4. I'm Blade.
I'm Jonathan. Got a pretty good guest coming on here. Pretty excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
You guys don't know yet. You'll find out here in a second. Not too long, he'll be here.
Yeah, you're in a bit.
Stay tuned. It's going to be a good show.
Until next time.
See ya.
Driver, start your engines. Get all strapped in. The nerves are there till I flip that switch. Then it all goes away. Nothing in the world can get to me when I'm on that track. There's nothing else that matters. Just going fast and turning laps. Just trying to move forward. I could go skydiving or bungee jump. The adrenaline still doesn't compare. Taking that left turn fast as you can. The give and take, the bump, the bang. Trying to be the first to get to that checkered flag. I just wanna race my race. Take chance. You gotta be fast or you're the worst. You gotta be fast or you're gonna get your ass. I just wanna race my race. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your relay. Get ready to rumble. That boil's best strike. You feel the rumble of the crowd as the cars go speeding by. All the dirt in the air, the smell of tires, cars passing back and forth. See the excitement, the pain, the sadness, the joy, the failures and the triumph. Whoa, feel the victory closing in. Yeah. Ain't nothing like it in the world. Well, let's walk, race my race. Crack a beer afterwards. I just wanna race my race. Lots of full left turns. Get that flag, stand on that roof. Whoa, I just wanna race my race. I just wanna race. Win or lose, gonna have fun either way. Whoa, I just wanna race my race. I just wanna race to be afterwards. Whoa, I just wanna race my race. I just wanna race. You gotta be faster, you're the worst. You gotta be faster, you're gonna get past. I just wanna race my race. If you can't be the show, be the show, right?
And we're back. Beers and Gears, episode 4.
Or, hey, who's this guy? We got Chuck here. Old Guy Hobbies, Chuck.
Charlie, aka Chuck / whatever.
That was going to be my question. What do you prefer usually?
I get asked that a lot, and everybody says Charlie sounds happier.
Oh,
So let's go with Charlie.
we've only known you as Chuck.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
20 plus years.
So where are you originally from?
I was originally from just Dubuque, East Dubuque, but I've been in Benton, Wisconsin since '98. Terry, come on, that makes me a permanent resident, doesn't it? I think I'm official here.
So you got family in racing, right? What is your connection with racing?
All right, so if we're gonna be serious here, and God, I hate that.
Bad start. Whoops.
No, just kidding. My uncle drove for like 20 plus years. My dad was on his crew. We chased racing every single weekend, and then sadly, my dad passed away when he was my age, and I couldn't go to the races for a while. It made me sad. And then a few years ago, I'm like, no, the old man would be upset if he knew that I had that was a big thing with us,
Right.
We were together on racing, and that's what we did. And I decided to get back in it and become a driver at a very advanced age. Don't do that. It's a terrible idea.
So what was your journey kind of to get to racing? I know you've been in like bands and different
Yeah, I've
kind
done
of
a lot
jobs
of dumb
bouncing
stuff.
around.
Yeah.
Take us kind of through that. How you got through there?
Into racing? Well, let's see. I called your dad one day, and I'm like, hey, I got this terrible idea.
Stole
And
my
he
car.
was completely supportive. And yeah, oh, that's right. You were trying to talk him into getting that car. So anyway, I wound up with it.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see you in it because it's the only laps I ever led really was in that car. So, and then I did all this work to make it right after about half a season of, and then I immediately sold it to you.
Yeah.
So, and then bought a different car, did okay. And then last year we decided, hey, if we're going to do this, maybe I'm not the best driver. And we got Jason Robbins. We kind of partnered up with him. Jason's heck of a driver, has won in everything he's ever been in, and kind of was one of those guys that I was shocked nobody put him in kind of like a high-profile class.
Right. Someone else let him drive.
So I let him kind of pick out an IMCA stock car, and we went to that class because, you know, anything more, if you're going A-mod or late model, that's a lot of money and craziness.
Right.
So we decided IMCA stock cars was the place for us. And we won some races last year and did real well. So
kind of like a sport mod mixed with a hobby stock, kind of. It looks like a hobby stock. It doesn't act like one, though.
It does not act like a hobby stock. I've driven both, and I can tell you that they are a hell of a lot faster.
Yeah.
They drive better. But the scare the S out of you factor is way higher, too. I don't know if you beat stuff on this show. So
well, we try to. I try to keep
curse.
up with it. Yeah, my beeping isn't very great. The words are still there, but YouTube hasn't flagged me yet. So
oh, perfect.
Seems to be working.
We're probably not anybody yet, though.
So yeah, you ought to, like, on Old Guy Hobbies, you ought to see it when, like, Manny Bennett walked. Is there anybody named Bennett on this panel? Like, in this area, how do you get by with a ratio and there isn't at least one Bennett?
I know.
They're everywhere, I swear.
It's like every 5 feet at the racetrack. Every other pit stall is a Bennett.
Yeah.
But, like, Manny will be recording and Jason will be all, this is how we're making a motor and we're building with a gap with the, you know, on the heads. And he'll just kick the door in, and you ever seen Orgasmo? He'll be like, hey, fellas, I'm ready to F.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's... All right, let's back that up. And he always says the beeps are funnier, so that's why we do
The
that.
beeps are funnier.
Well, there you go.
He'd probably fit in pretty well in Max.
Am I completely sidetracking this yet? Because that's my goal.
Well,
So
that's the plan,
basically,
so.
I just got a note, kind of what I want to figure out in case we get to that awkward quiet zone,
Oh, that ain't happening.
which is perfect.
That
It
will
gets
not
rid
be
of
a
the
problem.
nerves.
That will not be a problem. I
I-
got some stickers for you in my coat pocket, too, by the way.
Well, there you go.
Before we leave here.
Got a couple here for you,
I
too,
got
so.
actually. Speaking of which, I got you a koozie
Whoa!
and a sticker.
Let me see this. I even brought my glasses. Beers and Gears by Walters Performance Mufflers.
Yeah.
Whoa! Can they see that from here?
They might be
That
able
says
to.
balls to the... You're a big Accept fan, aren't you?
You know, Craig used to sing it all the time.
I was going to say, that's the lead singer from Johnny Trash right there.
Yeah, right here.
I drew that on my iPad.
Wow. That's beautiful.
All
Thank
that
you.
stuff. We drew the I drew the logo up. I drew Craig in that picture. And
Yeah, I stole a hat from them.
yeah, you stole a hat from the 30th anniversary.
Well, yeah, when I first started in bands, they were first starting in bands too, but they were better and they kept going, and then I went off and drove a race car and I wasn't good
You
at that
did
either.
like how many bands were you in?
Oh,
I know.
God.
I only know one, but
at
I'm
least
pretty
half
young.
a dozen.
half a dozen.
So, yeah. Oh, before we continue this, can either of you two name 3 Van Halen songs, or I'm just going to get up and leave?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
Anima,
terrible
Running with
with
the
music,
Devil. I know this stuff. You
Time
got
to crack one open. All right.
You know
I'm sticking
exactly
around.
who my family is. That's kind of.
Yep. All right. We're good. We're good here.
Did you hear? We got an actual recording band going to be on the car this year.
An actual recording
That
band?
is not live. There's a band called Royal Bliss. And
Okay.
they're sponsoring our race car this year.
That's awesome.
I just kind of found them on Facebook. We see them up at Bratfest all the time.
All right.
And I found them on Facebook. You know, the blue check mark.
Do they play both kinds of music, rock and metal?
They play rock, metal. They play southern rock, and they do a lot of covers. They just last time we saw them, they did covers of Metallica. They did pretty good with that.
You have my attention.
Yeah, and they're pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, I'm liking their songs so far, so.
So while you're in bands, you're working with decal shop, right? You're making decals for what company was that?
Signcraft over in Galena.
Signcraft.
Yeah, we had done. I've actually done decal work for Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch. He's an ass. Just so you know, I've met the man.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah, a
he's
lot of
changed.
people. Yeah. Tony Stewart is hilarious. I have some awesome stories about him leaving welts on my ass.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, those are fun. Explain that to the wife.
That'd be a hard one to explain.
I tried to get him to explain it to her. He said it was a stripper, and I'm telling you, there was no strippers anywhere near us when that happened.
Oh, that
That's one heck of
sounds
a cover up.
that
Yeah.
sounds like an absolute blast.
Yeah, he kind of tried to play it off that way. Like, yeah, there was the blonde at the end,
Yeah, you
breast
remember.
plump.
You remember.
I was not there. I was not there. I got too close to him, and that's all it took.
So eventually, you made the big leap and made your own company. That was Spooky Pinball.
Yeah. We
How
started.
did you make that? That jump.
Well, your dad's known me forever, so I used to collect pinball machines and fix them up and stuff, and it was one of those the hobby turned into a day job situations, and
I've seen the inside of those pinball machines. It is crazy hectic.
Oh,
it's more complicated. It's got more parts than a race car.
Yes,
They kind of
attest
take all
to
the
that.
stuff out of the race cars that'll break, and then pinball you got to cram more of that stuff in, or there's just nothing to do.
I've been a part of wiring them. I worked at Spooky
Yep.
for a while. A part of wiring them and making the harnesses. There's a lot of wires in there. Wires and moving pieces. I couldn't wrap my head around it. That's nuts.
I couldn't either. That's why I'm not there anymore.
I can't believe that you just get bored one day and open up the panel and go, or
Well, I was lucky enough that we knew the right people, people that understood the electronic side of it better than I did. My background was all graphic arts and a little bit of computer CAD design. Not great at any of that, but I would enough to get by. Had some really good friends that understood the electronic side of it better, programmers, that kind of thing. So I could give direction, get the right people together, and get a game done.
right?
So we were spending so much time doing that as a hobby that at some point it was like, if we're going to keep doing this, we got to try to make a living in it. Yeah, try to make a living out of it, and that's exactly what happened. And first game was 150 units, and we thought we had sunk the ship and lost the house and everything else at least half a dozen times.
Right.
And then the second game was 300 and 500, and it just kept growing and growing to the point where now my kids are doing it, and I get to go mess around with race cars and have fun.
boy, there you
There
go.
you go. You got more free time. Huh?
Life
Yeah.
is pretty darn good.
So after that, like you said, you kind of just decided to make that jump to racing.
Yep.
Which you take that jump to making your own company. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But then you decide, you know what, I want to race out of nowhere, kind of. Well, you had that racing background,
Yeah.
but you just go, hey, you guys know anybody selling a race car?
That's exactly how it happened. I literally called your dad and was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And he knew a guy, and we got hooked up with a car, and he got me out on the track. Did everything he said he was going to do. Got the car together, and it went, and it turned left.
There you go.
I got the
Only
video
left.
still. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we'll
Yeah.
put that in there.
Sound 3, 2.
Maybe not. It's up to you. We'll put that in there if you decide. We went to Dubuque with you was that your first test?
Oh, yeah. I was scared to death.
And I remember I was getting underneath and they going, oh, you're leaking transmission fluid somewhere. Oh,
That car was leaking everything.
Oh,
somewhere.
Yeah. And was that the one right out front there?
that is that exact car. The
Oh,
car that we ended up with was supposed to be my car first, but hey.
well, now it is. So
It's your car now.
yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
that's
tame
all
the
that
beast.
matters, and now
Yeah.
I get to wreck it after. So you
Oh,
got to
wow.
drive, and now
Yeah.
I get to show that maybe I can't drive it, maybe I can. We'll see.
Well, I hear that the rear wheels in this one are the ones that make it go, and I think it was
Oh.
the opposite in your class.
We better sell it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you'll find the crumple zones.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think in the last video I said, what I want it to look good for at least a lap and a half.
Well, it looks pretty sharp right now. It's all
Oh, yeah.
shiny and
Yeah,
black. And
Dad
clean.
did an awesome job painting it black. We'll probably post that down in the corner or something like that. Nice, shiny, and black.
It's down there.
Yep.
And there you go.
Right there.
Somewhere
Look at it.
here.
And then put up a picture right here. I'm going to make this really hard for you. Put the picture right here of how it used to look.
Back and forth, see the excitement, the pain, the sadness, the joy, the failures, and the triumph. Whoa, feel the victory closing in. Yeah.
Oh yeah. yeah, I got plenty of pictures when we got it when it was still purple and smashed up and all that stuff.
Is it the same body? Did you change any
The same body.
Well, that
hammered.
wasn't too smashed up.
It wasn't bad. Just the front fenders were a little crumpled. The right front was pretty smashed. The left front wasn't bad.
There was a huge tear at the rear.
At the rear, there's a big old hole in the quarter panel. That was a lot of work to put back together, but I love the challenge, and I didn't have the money for the new panel, so
I'm telling you, 5 laps in, you won't know any difference from when I sold it to you to now.
Chrome
It'll
don't
look
get you home.
just like that.
And then Matt Bennett came over, looked at it, and he told me, yeah, I think it's going to be okay for you. You'll be all right. This is what I would change. This is what I would change. He said, hey, you see that rear frame piece there? That's off my first ever race car. I'm like, whoa. So I got pieces of his car on there. I got pieces of Buff's car. That's Jeff Bennett's car on there. I got Hefty's car on there. There's a mashup, and he's pointing out all the pieces to this thing.
So that car doesn't know what it's identifying
No,
as these days.
no. It's got the fuel cell in it was supposed to be Landon's, but it needed to go in that car, so
Okay.
Matt put it into that car.
Well, you know more about this car than I did.
At this point, yeah.
I didn't know anything about it up until like 3 days ago when Matt decided to come down, when we decided to roll it here in the garage.
Matt's a good guy. Hi, Matt. Are you watching?
I'm trying to get as much off of him as I can.
You should, because he knows what he's doing.
That guy can drive.
Ken, he knows how to keep a car running, too.
Yeah, even when it's on fire.
Oh.
Or upside down.
Or upside down. Well, that car has been upside down with him in it.
I didn't know that when I bought it.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
the dent in the roof should have given it away.
So Matt broke an axle in his car at Macokota, and he flipped it like 4 times. And then he said, well, I kind of want to race the Buick. We're doing good down there. And Hefty says, yeah, sure, hop in it and drive it. Take this one out. Lo and behold, he put it over on its lid.
Seems like a recurring story there.
I told him I need him to come sign the dent on the roof.
And then last year,
won't come out.
and then last year, man, he's like, hold my. Well, he doesn't drink. So,
Oh,
yeah, hold
if
my
you think that
Gatorade.
small dent's bad.
Man, he's getting a new roof this year. He's getting our old stock car roof.
Speaking of Manny's car, I actually, in my World of Outlaws video game, made my stock car on there.
You made a Grey Ghost?
Yep.
In the world can get to me when I'm on that track. There's nothing else that matters. Just going fast and turning laps, just trying to move forward. I could go skydiving or bungee jump. The adrenaline still doesn't compare. Taking that left turn fast as you can. The give and take, the bump, the bang. Trying to be the first to get to that checkered flag. I just want race my race.
The only thing is I can't put 2 letters in there, so it's 9R instead of 9ER. But it's close enough. The paint scheme's pretty darn close. It's best I could do with what I had. It's still Monte Carlo.
Well, hopefully, Manny can keep that car looking good for more than like 3 weeks this year. Not that we give him a hard time about that.
Yeah, and it's been pretty rough. There's been a car over every year in our group, basically.
Yeah, just don't be that guy. You'll be fine.
The Benton Racing Connection, what was it? Jevin was 2 times, 2 or 3 times with his, the black car.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, twice in
And
one season.
were you there the first year? Was that when?
I forgot about the first time. I was coming off turn 1, and there he was.
Yeah,
Upside
over by.
down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I think Jason rolled his. Might be your first year in racing. He didn't. I guess it's not a roll if he didn't touch anything but the wheels. Were you there for that one?
I don't think I was.
Okay, so that might have been the year before you started racing.
Yeah, I think it was.
He kind of got cut off and flipped up in the air and landed on his wheels. We were talking to him about it. And he said it doesn't count as a flip if he didn't touch any panels, just landed on the wheels.
Yep. That way it can continue racing there.
So, how did your first race go, and how did you really feel about what you did?
The very first race I was in, my only goal was to make the feature because we had so many hobby stocks at Darlington that night that people were going home. And I made the feature and they didn't tell me. So I didn't run the feature.
Oh, I do remember this. Yes.
They're like, oh, here's the, because you hear them on the radio and you come off turn 4 or turn 2, actually, after you finish the race. And they're like, here's the cars going to feature, blah, 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 blah. And then I didn't know about Race Pass. I didn't know anything. I was just listening to the girl on the loudspeaker.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, hey, somebody fell out, so we're putting you in. And so then I was
Loaded up and done by the
Yeah. And then
after
that, I never missed another race. I never was a lap down, not once.
I've been
close
there.
a couple of times.
I've been there.
Yeah, I always kept her on the lead lap, and I did the best I could. I admittedly not.
I think you
Great.
did better than what you think. You were catching on. You were doing good.
So-
Whether or not you think you were fast doesn't matter. You were getting better.
I figure I can be middle of the pack in a hobby stock, and there was like 5 stock cars at the time in Dubuque. So I'm like, well, I can go out there and run 6th.
Yeah.
That'd be better.
And then now there's how many?
And now there's like 20, and you really got to know what you're doing. Those guys are fast.
Oh, I bet.
So that's why Jason's in the car. I know my limits. I just tried it in practice, and I don't get it up on 3 wheels very much or anything
Right.
else. I'm trying.
Huh.
That left front comes up.
I'd still like to race it, in the right place at the right time. Maybe if everybody else
Right.
stays home and there's 3 of us, I'm in.
If Lee
All right,
stays
go.
parked,
No, if Lee's out there, I like running with him.
you want to run with
That's
Lee?
fun. Yeah.
And so far, you got any favorite stories you got going with that?
As a driver or an owner, or
Either or. Which one do you like more?
It turns out if your guy wins in your car, it's just as exciting as if I don't know, because I never won. But I can tell you it feels pretty darn good, like to work that hard, and a guy goes out there and he's beating some really good talent. I get
Right away too.
I get enough excitement out of that to make me happy all day long.
Well, there you go.
And it makes me feel good that he's getting an opportunity to go out and show what he can do. That guy, we went to. I guess if you have to pick one weekend out in Farley there with 200 plus cars racing for $100,000, what does he do? Jason goes out there in a car that I guarantee we had 1/10 the budget of Ricky Thornton Jr., who ends up winning the
Winning
thing.
the thing, yeah.
And
That's crazy.
and third fast goes out. We start as far back as you have to. If you're a fast qualifier in your heat race, he goes straight to the front, wins that, goes out, leads a few laps, and then our steering box decided it wanted to be a problem, and then the motor blew. So we never really got to finish it off. So
That's kind of a rare thing for him too. Anything he touches is usually,
he's pretty good. He
as
knows
long
what
as
he's
the
doing.
person listens. Unlike me, when I first got one of his motors,
Yeah,
as long as you listen to him, it usually ends up pretty well.
he knows what he's doing. But it was good for him to he got some attention. Obviously, there were some eyes on the car, and we made goofy commercials, and we just had a blast and
Huh.
threw that on Dirt XR, and it was good stuff. Good stuff.
I don't know if you've watched any of our stuff. I know Manny was talking about it down at Jason's because Matt was telling me they were joking about it. We've got a couple fake commercials that we made.
Okay.
Yeah.
My sister's boyfriend does the voices for them. Like one of them's some random bogus bakery, and I made a fake logo, phony logo with an address on it and everything.
Okay.
And then one of them was some like mobster style New York bank and trust. And he literally says like, "We'll take your money and save it. You're not a cop, are you?"
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool stuff. I'm hoping we get another one for this one. I
I'm
kind of
sure.
gave up. I planted an idea in his head. He's better in this podcast stuff than I am. I'm a nervous guy, so that's kind of why you see me.
You don't seem nervous.
I'm super nervous. This is the one I was most nervous about, and I don't know why, because we've been family friends forever, as long as I can remember, obviously. Well, you came to Benton in 98, I was born in 97, so my whole life.
Wow. God, I feel old.
Yeah. So, he kind of pointed to your favorite racing memory. So, obviously, you said you liked watching Jason win a lot more. What was your favorite driving memory?
As a driver myself, I think the best I ever did. Honestly, I'll a couple of them. I finished 6th one night up in Darlington, which for me was like, holy crap, this is amazing. But there was when my uncle first started racing, one of the young up and coming guys was Jerry Miles,
Right?
and we got to Lancaster, the county fair, a couple years ago, and that track is awesome. I love running
Oh,
up
yeah.
there. Sadly, the first time I ran up there, we had the entire field wiped out going into turn 1. So that didn't end well. Ripped the entire rear end
Car
out.
was like 10 feet up in the air.
Yeah. Oh, no, that wasn't that car. That was
the
my
red
second, that was
car.
my second car. So I was like, I felt good, confident into that race. And then the next year up there, we come off turn 4 going to the Checker Flag, and I was door to door with Jerry Miles, who was driving his kid's hobby stock.
Right. Yep.
He was slumming it. I was hanging with him, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
That ties it all together.
Yeah.
It seems like you go down to Dubuque and they got that joke going miles and miles and miles because they got all the miles in there.
There's a mile every mile.
Yeah.
There you go.
We got to kind of talk with them down in Maquoketa. I was hanging out with Bennett's basically the entire time, and they're pretty cool to talk to.
Yeah, talk about racing family around here, man. They're every one of them's won.
Yeah.
So
even the rookie won. They even won what 4 or 5 races this year.
Wound up winning Rookie of the Year, didn't he?
Yeah. Rookie of the Year for the hobby stocks.
Good for them, man. No, it's fun. But that was a cool memory. Yeah, absolutely.
I think you got 3rd place one time. I remember that distinctively. You finishing 3rd.
In some heat races.
Heat races, but that counts. That's a big step up for a lot of people.
Does it?
For years, either I broke or finished 5th because there was 5 cars in a heat race.
Yeah.
But getting that first, 3rd, or 2nd, or just being there.
Just enough. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's just enough to kind of keep you going. Like, oh my God, I'm getting closer. You can do better. And yeah,
I still remember watching that video when you put it up on YouTube. You know, slapping the name on the hobby stock you had up there, and that kind of makes everybody emotional watching it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool seeing that stuff and feeling what the driver feels. And I wish we had more of that. We don't have that. I don't talk much on camera because I'm a nervous guy.
That was honestly, it was the whole reason I started doing the YouTube thing. Was I didn't know how long I was going to be able to do this, and I wanted it out, documented, so like friends and family and stuff that aren't in the area could see. Okay, God, he's trying. He's out there, and here's how much work goes into it. And I had no idea that any of that was going to catch on or do what it's done,
right?
Or that we'd end up getting hired by Dubuque, which we're doing again this year. They brought us back this year.
That's pretty awesome.
We're going to be doing some more co-promotion with them. We'll be running Darlington this year, bringing stock cars up six times.
Yep.
So we're going to be up there. We're going to do all that. We were on the fence whether we were going to stay local or travel this year. Jason's building some stuff with his family business, and we're getting ready to build a shop. You got to have a bigger shop. You always got to have a bigger shop.
Race car equals shop.
Yeah. So we're doing that this summer. We didn't know.
Take notes, Chad.
Time we were going to. But yeah, it's we've got some opportunities from the YouTube thing, and it's been really cool. It really has. So
that was going to be one of my questions. How do you feel about this YouTube channel thing?
It's a lot. Well, you do it all the time. It's a lot of work, especially if you're doing, kind of like the fast edit style, where it's going from this race to this car. Here we are in the garage. Here we are at the track. It's a lot of work, and to keep it cohesive and keep all the laps straight, like when you're running cameras in the car on the pit box.
Edit them together.
We've got a deal in place with Done Right TV, so we can use their footage. So to keep all of that in a line and make sure that you're showing, well, here's where the accident happened, and you have to have the lap counter.
Right.
It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of reward too, and it does make a lot of people happy. Everywhere we go, we joke that Manny or Jevin or whoever was on last week, they get recognized at the gas station or something, and it's kind of funny.
That's pretty cool. We just kind of had that too. I had a couple of people just from 3 episodes. Someone come and noticed me from the show at work. It kind of felt pretty cool. And he had somebody up from across notice his voice through a phone call with his friend up there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. And we're just nothing right now. And I feel like you said, I do it all the time, but I don't got 4 or 5 cars to look after. You got Jevin, you got Jason, you got Manny.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm on there. You got.
Yep. Yeah. We try to highlight all the local guys that especially being from a small town here in Benton, and you're part of that. Kyle Hoffman, and of course Manny, Jason, Jevin, Mark, all these guys.
The Benton Racing Connection.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seems to keep growing.
We're gonna get in some different cars this year. Dubuque wants to see the Crown Vic class that's coming in. They want to see that get promoted some. So Drew, you're going to be on camera a lot, buddy. Sorry. He'll be racing Crown Vics over Dubuque too. So
That's gonna be a show.
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. So.
Every time somebody comes into work and asks me for a part for a Crown Vic or a Grand
You know
Marquis,
where it's going.
I go, hey, are you building the race car? There's only been one or two times where a guy's like, no, but I got a bunch of people trying to buy my car right now.
Yeah.
He's like, well, if you want it to be a good car, still don't. It's going to be gutted. So, what would you, this is kind of something I just came up with. What would you give for advice to somebody like Blade and I just kind of starting out with our channel? It seems like we're just starting out, even though I've been putting racing footage out there for a little while, but
As far as content or
all together, advice, YouTube channel stuff.
the best advice I can give is be yourself and
Always.
absolutely throw it out there like you don't care if anybody's watching. Because the minute you start thinking about it too much, you're going to bind yourself up.
Oh, yeah.
And just keep it. You want to keep it fast-paced, lighthearted, fun, positive,
Mm-hmm.
and just have fun with it. I mean, you know what it's like. We all have run-ins out there, and somebody's mad at somebody, and,
Oh yeah.
and it's you have to show some of that because that's the reality of racing. But at the same time,
There's a real
we don't
drama
get into that whole "oh, son of a buck, we're gonna get you next week," and I try to stay away from all that stuff.
Yeah, friendly banter mostly.
It kind of takes
Yeah.
the fun out of it when it's angry stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's racing. I mean, it's adrenaline, and you guys are all out there just, stuff's gonna happen.
Oh,
It's just going to. But yeah, just keep your editing fast, and
And that's
fun.
kind of
Lighthearted.
how I told you when I kind of told you about this. I said I decided to start embarrassing myself weekly.
Well, Manny's been trying to talk me into doing something like a podcast forever, so I told him just come up here and join you.
Yeah,
There you go. I say it every week. You want to be a part of it? I don't know who really cares about this, who wants to be it. I don't know who's watching.
Why don't you care?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit that like and subscribe. This young man's working hard for you.
Leave a
Look how
comment or
entertaining he
something.
is.
Yeah.
We did get one comment. Well, two comments now. Craig I'm Johnny Trash. He said, "Good job, boys, for our first episode."
Sure.
It was me, Blade, and Max. And then we got one actually. We'll put in the drink session after this. We do two-parters, 2 episodes per night, basically. It's
Okay.
merged into one on Spotify. We put it on Spotify too.
Oh, so you're like legit. You're on all the.
Trying
This
to.
isn't just video on YouTube. It's going
Yep,
everywhere.
it's going on. Audio is uncensored, unedited. Basically, it's put together, both sessions onto Spotify.
Dirty words.
Yeah.
Filth, flarn.
The first episode was bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
You
I
got Dale Jr. on your show.
Oh yeah.
I can't get him on our show.
scared the crap out of me again. He sneaks up on you. And then we got, right there, we got the 55 J-Wall light that you and Tamara made for us.
Well, plug it in.
It's way too
Oh, it
bright.
overpowers the camera, does it?
Oh yeah, you will probably see a silhouette of 3 people sitting here.
Okay, so if you go to Amazon, you can get a little dimmer switch.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're like $10.
And,
And you can even make it blink.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
That's what you
And
need.
that was
right
pretty
there.
cool. Like, Dad said he got a hold of you guys for that for a Christmas present. And that I opened that up. And
Done a few of those.
I saw you cutting them out because I was still working there at the time. And I saw you cutting them out. I'm like, oh, I really hope I get one of those. It'd be really cool to get one of those.
We don't do a whole lot of that, but we did do like all the trophies for Lafayette County Speedway this year.
Yep.
Oh.
We did lighted sign track champion cars for
Right.
everybody,
BA
and
was
nobody I
sending
knew
me,
won one this year, and it's like the first year since I've been racing that.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Jason didn't get championship, and Kyle wasn't up there.
Not
And usually
you.
they're right there.
You were right there.
Oh, we were probably one race off. We broke 2 races.
You could have had 2 of those. Well,
I
the other
coulda.
one would have been your car.
Yeah,
that
BA
would've
sent them
been
to me and said, "Hey, look what I got for the champions." I'm like, pretty jealous right now.
Well, maybe BA send him another foot. It's going to go right there.
Yeah.
It's right between my fingers.
Yeah.
It's right. That's what they look like right there. Pretty neat, huh? That's good. Yeah, I'll move over here so you can see my face. Pretty neat. There you go.
And we're
Good luck
all
with that.
You're gonna have a blast.
I'm trying to edit something in there. And we're all trying to follow in his footsteps. Probably should blur that out. He's getting in trouble for that paint scheme right now.
Oh, with the cousin Eddie?
Yeah,
Really?
they actually came after him, I guess. Yep, the movie. The
Yeah.
people in
Randy
charge.
Quaid or
The people who have the
studio?
rights to the movie, the studio came after him and said that they were kind of threatening to sue him.
Yeah, they'll get you for that.
And he can't post anything from the dome because of it.
Oh no!
And he had really great footage. He had pictures of Amber and I got to meet him again. Blade and I met him the first year.
Oh,
The first year I was nervous Nelly. I walked past him 3-4
Yeah.
times before I even walked up to him. This time I walked past him twice, and then he pointed at me and told me to come over and talk to him.
Well, if his fans are watching, be sure you like, subscribe, and
Yeah.
like,
And, hey,
subscribe.
Tim, if you're
Let's do
watching, let us know. You're not
Yeah.
watching, but if you are.
it. Yeah, because they have a way bigger audience. Than
But this is the coolest part of that whole paint scheme right there.
yes, sir.
Wally's Place Performance was on his car this
How
year.
much did that cost you?
Whopping $150. Not bad at all. He put that out on Facebook, and I knocked it around. I'm like, I don't know if I really got the 150 to spend, but
Well, for a while there, when we were putting the Old Guy Hobby stickers on cars, they'd
Yep.
go out and win. So people started asking for them for, can we just put one on the car? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
yeah. So that was cool to put that on there. We ended up doing that. We were on there the year before. We were on the little they had a sponsorship thing where you pay $50 and get on a name list. That was pretty cool. WP Performance was on there.
Nice.
I really like helping him out. He's a cool guy. I like watching all that, having a couple conversations with him on Facebook. I got a project for you. If I can get a hold of him, he might have a vector file for me of a logo.
Oh, well, I know a guy.
You know a guy.
I know a guy. We can make that happen for you.
Don't know, but I have to see if his guy made a vector file. Because he asked me, you got a vector file of this? Like, no, I drew that on my iPad and sent it to you on Facebook.
There you go.
Which is, you know the pain of working with me. All my stuff is that way, basically.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes I got to finagle it a bit. But it's fun. We always make it work.
Like the numbers. I really wanted to go through you for the numbers, but I couldn't get the file for them.
I think I made you new ones anyway.
Uh,
Yeah, well, I made that sign off of that. So
yeah.
they don't look too bad.
No, they look really good.
Yeah.
And, yeah. The only thing is we thought about different colors thrown around. We asked for comments down below, and it's kind of quiet. I drew up a really cool paint scheme that was kind of a shout out to 2 different drivers put together kind of deal.
So who are the
Right.
2 drivers? Dale and Dale?
Nope. Nope. It was actually going to be a Bloomquist Ken Block type thing together.
Very cool.
But I never got, funds for that aren't going to be there. So I don't know what it's going to be. It might be just a simple thing for the first year. And
I think we're going to be orange, white, and black this year, and try to make it not look like Tony Stewart, so he doesn't
that's not possible.
leave welts on my ass again.
That's not possible at all.
I
Orange,
don't
white,
know
and
how
black,
you- yeah.
that's Tony Stewart right there.
This was the professor who was like, "We're going orange this year." Okay. So
There you go. Wow,
want
orange.
the old orange nose cone and the white roof, then I don't know. We'll just figure it out from there.
Right?
Make it up as I go along, like everything else I do.
A guy in my online racing league, he said, hey, check out my Tony Stewart throwback. And it was literally just an orange car with like a black stripe. Like, well, you paint any car orange, put the number 20 on there and a black stripe, and you got a Home Depot throwback right there.
Sure, sure.
That's something we did for a couple weeks, and I drew the logo for that even. And that kept caught on for a little while.
I think I still have Tony Stewart's. I have art files for him somewhere.
Yeah,
It was J.D. Byrider was the sponsor. Nelson Stewart, we did one for his dad too.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got those files somewhere. I should just totally rip them off.
And you've been, just take the whole
Rip them
file.
off.
Just don't put it on.
No.
Don't put it on videos because they'll come after you.
Oh yeah.
You think that would be like free advertisement, and they'd be like, "Hey, that's getting people's eyes on this thing." But yeah, like Tim made a video and said, "Hey, hopefully next time you see me, I still got a garage and a car and all that stuff." They had just bought the Elite chassis from Nick Hoffman. Nick Hoffman and them put it together and all that stuff. Dad,
Nice
gets the
shot,
point.
Dad.
Does that go for the guests?
Technically.
Technically, we'll throw that out there. He kind of had a short shot, but Blade's got one. I got one. Throw a
What,
guest
we got to
one
hit
out
the trash can from here? Is
Yeah.
Is that the deal? What happens if
Make
you hit the camera?
Get the camera.
Maybe you should
Then
have put
it
that.
makes for some good footage.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll try not to do
The
that.
first
well, now you're
time,
gonna aim
the
for
first,
it, so.
first video I threw one, I made it. All you see is like the splatter of the alcohol go by it from with the little sip that's
That's
left.
just quality entertainment.
Yeah, right
There you
there.
go.
And we've been trying out this. We what we do in our second segment is we pick out 3 drinks each week that we have not tried, and we kind of do like a review of it. Then we talk about whatever is going on that week, not the interview. We talk about what we learned in the interview, and just kind of have fun with it.
Yeah, basically just a closing segment. That's,
Yeah. Cool. The first one we tried was Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer. So.
I didn't know.
I didn't know he had one. I heard it.
That sounds pretty special.
Oh, yeah. It kind of tastes like a Busch Light. It's a light beer. Dad said he's sticking with his Busch Light, though.
Oh,
That seems to be the popular beer of choice around here.
Yeah, I mean, well, headquarters is just down the road, about 5 hours away.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Yep.
Yep. And
You just skip over the fact that he lives in Wisconsin.
yeah.
You know how many breweries are up here?
oh,
Hey,
so
I drink
too
them
many.
all.
Drink local.
I'll drink anything. That's the type of guy I am. Although we did try an IPA from another wrestler, which I won't name because I like the guy. And
And the beer was that bad?
the IPA, Eric will tell you, he took one sip and he said no. And I asked him, "Are you going to finish that?" He goes, "No." I said, "Well, I'll drink the rest, but I paid for it." But where are we at for time here? We're still cooking pretty good.
Yeah, we're at 45.
45 minutes already.
Dang, that went by fast.
They always do.
Every single one of my guests, I say, we got to have you on for a second time. I know you got plans here tonight.
He missed.
So I told you I'd try to keep it 45, 50 minutes.
Perfect.
What do we got for? Already asked you that stuff. What? I guess you kind of already told us our future plans. Basically, the whole time was that. We just kind of
Yeah, I just say a lot of words.
a lot of words,
Sometimes
words
they
and stuff.
stick and sometimes they don't.
I love it when you go words is hard.
Words is hard. Yes. That's like my only catchphrase. Manny's got 57. I got one.
I love Manny's. Every time I hear him go, "You're gonna have a bad time."
He's got a lot of them. The man's a
Oh,
walking
yeah.
catchphrase.
And
I love it.
I kind of thought of you the other day at work. My coworker and I were talking how I don't like
You think about me at work?
just this. I'll tell you. Yeah. Oh. We were thinking about you.
Nicest thing anybody said to me all
I
day.
give you all the time, Chuck.
Wow.
We think about. I was
Did that
thinking
get
about you.
awkward?
No.
All right.
This is you. Everybody gets to see it now. I do weekly on yours, so kind of, sort of.
Not right now, they don't. I haven't done anything.
No.
Been too busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
That's usually how it
Life
goes.
gets-
Gathered
away
like a whole
sometimes.
house worth of parts. That's a lot of stuff.
I was kind of thinking of you because my coworker, because of that words is tough thing, my coworker was trying to tell. We were talking how I don't like to swear. I don't swear in front of people. I'm kind of trying to be respectful about it. And my coworker goes, "Yeah, I wish I sweared less." And I thought of you going, "Words is tough." And then I looked.
Squared less.
Yeah, I looked right at her and said, "I wish I sweared less." It's just funny stuff.
Squared less.
I kind of
That's
told her
good.
I might put this in here.
And not well. It's too
Well,
late
there it
now. He
is.
just did.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to eventually have you on again if you're willing and able, because you're going to be busy.
Oh, yeah, it's about to get nuts. We gotta
Yeah.
start doing our weekly stuff again here and get ready for the season. And I don't know, maybe that invisible bear will show up and stuff will happen.
What bear?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I keep saying. Other people tell me he's there. Whatever.
That's Manny's best friend, isn't it?
All I see is Manny fighting with air.
So I can't wait for you guys to pull back the cover on finally reveal what the car looks like.
Yeah, me
Those
too,
are-
because I don't know yet.
Those are always fun to see. I don't know.
We'll do that soon. And again, if anybody's watching this that watches our show too, I haven't thrown video out because, like, what are we going to do? Show you stuff we didn't do last year? Like, oh, there's a door going back on. Here's a fender.
There's always so
Professor's
many
down there
times.
getting ready to dyno an engine, and, he's always a little leery about how much can we show of that? So,
Not that it matters, it's legal, but you don't really want to show other people your stuff.
no, it's extremely legal.
It's like your
Yeah.
setup stuff. You don't want to show people your setups because, well, they're gonna follow that.
Yeah, we end up doing it anyway. Those guys,
Yeah.
they always try to keep that stuff secret, and then somebody walks over, and 2 seconds later, you're just, what are you doing? Because we're sucking out loud on toast here, and then they'll tell you, and you'll tell them what you're doing. And
You're gonna buy those big foam
take your car to
pads.
BHE. That's what we did. It got way better.
You gonna buy those big foam pads and put them in by your wheels?
No, we don't care. We're just gonna go out and try to beat you, and if we do, great. If we don't, we try.
There you
You
go.
know, you're gonna have fun doing it. That's the biggest part, right?
We always have fun.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
When it's, I always say
We're at a racetrack. It should be fun. That's
Yes.
fun.
You would hope so, at least.
when it's not fun, it's time to be done. Is what I
Yep.
always say.
Yep.
So I suppose I just wanted to thank you for coming on here.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted
As
to
far
thank
as you know, I've had a great time.
Yeah, he could be faking this whole time. I don't know. He's been on stage before people. He can fake anything. So basically, I really want to thank you for everything because you've hopped on as a sponsor for the race car all but 1 year on our car. That's Spooky Pinball.
What year didn't we?
The first year.
We didn't?
Yep, you guys weren't on the first year. I had 3 sponsors that year. And then the second year you hopped on. And
Oh, God, you're going way back.
yeah, this
okay.
is 8
Yeah,
years
well,
ago
the first year I was trying to buy food.
now. Yeah. No, this
Literally.
is my first year. My
I
first
was
year,
so
yeah.
broke.
So this is 8 years ago.
Yeah.
When I started racing. This is the only year you didn't.
I should have done that. I could have said I started in my 40s.
Yeah, there you go.
Dang.
And so thank you for sponsoring us and physically
We'll
helping
do
us.
it again this year, I'm sure.
They're waiting for a check in the mail. They're
Perfect.
going to be on the car again.
Yeah.
Both cars. I'm
Need some
leaving them
stickers.
on
We'll
both
help
of
you
them.
there. And
I want to thank you for all the physical help you give us because you've helped on the car before.
everybody
at the
helps
track.
everybody. That's what we do.
It's crazy how many people kind of swarm to you when you break down. It's
Yep.
family.
Oh, yeah.
It
Even
really
people
is.
who you don't think is a part of your group, they're there to help. It looks like a NASCAR pit stop when you got a flat tire in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was crazy
And,
when I was there, that was sure.
Not only being a part of our family friends, but being our racing family. That's a big thing to us.
I'm just
You're
excited to be
always
doing any of
family
this.
to us.
Thank you. I appreciate it greatly.
And like I said, this is the one I was most nervous for. Not even the first episode. The first episode was nervous. This one,
Why do I make you nervous?
I don't know.
You've known me forever.
I know, but Blade, you got anything for him before we kick off on
No,
this?
it was mostly just good meeting you.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
good stories.
I
and
tend to
everything.
tell him that I talk too much and
Bah.
he'd kick in here and there. Just cut me off. Just tell me I'm done.
It's a good thing, anyways. You're a good filler, so.
There's no dead time.
Exactly.
But
Jay Walt, he's good filler. That's a soundbite right there.
There you go.
Well, like I said,
I could be using my koozie here.
there you go. Now you can, if you don't think of us, you can always think of Craig Ime.
There
you
you
just
go.
look at that and go, man,
I should have done this when the can was full.
that guy looked
Would've been
really
easier.
good
Wait
in
till later.
his overalls there.
He does.
Bibs.
He looks like Udo Dirk Schneider. And if you know who that is, we can be friends.
We could be friends. But like I said, I've been kind of drawing this on, but thank you for coming on, and we'll see you some other time maybe.
Appreciate being here, man.
Yeah.
So, I guess, hang on. What have you thought of Beards and Gears so far? That'll be the last question. Closing remarks.
Of all the podcasts I've been on today, this one by far has been the best
That's awesome.
That means you've been on probably one podcast today?
today.
Out of the millions you've been on, probably. And it hasn't been all
I've been
about
on a
pinball.
lot of them, surprisingly, but very few about racing.
Mostly pinball.
Yeah,
But,
the rest of the racing world doesn't think much of me. That's fine. We're good with that.
oh, believe me, you're catching on. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate this.
Anytime, man.
This has been episode
I had to drive
4.
all the way across town to get here.
Real far
Yeah.
drive. We almost didn't get him. In the snow blizzard that we're getting here.
Yeah, it is actually. We need that though.
But yep, episode 4 is in the books here. The interview portion. We'll skip on over to the drink session. But thank you for coming on to Beers and Gears episode 4.
Yeah. Until next time.
Rock on, people.
That's how I'm-
Wanna race.